Okay, I'm having another go at this live stream. We're seeing how we get on now. Tried again a minute ago, but didn't work. Do we have audio? Anything happening? Oh, there we go. Okay, having another go at this live stream. Yeah, we have some audio. Don't have any viewers according to this. Right, the purpose of this video is to inspect some of the footage from the recent Florida shootings and school shootings that took place. I haven't paid too much attention to it so far. I come across a couple of, well, mainly news broadcasts, which make me question certainly their coverage of it. And yeah, I'd be curious if anyone has any links to any other footage they could share or let us know what to search for. These, for the time being, is a CNN news broadcast. I'll just one more check of the audio. Okay, audio doesn't sound too bad my end. So, well, without further ado, we'll start watching a video. Florida school shooters disturbing social media posts. And let's see how well we think they cover it. Okay. Okay, can we all see it? I say all, there's about 2 people watching by my count. Okay, I'm going to press play in a minute and you can let us know what you think. Right, what happens if I go...
"17 people killed in a mass shooting at a Florida high school." I say people, most of them kids, high school kids. We're learning more tonight about the 19-year-old suspect's weapons and about clues from his social media. CNN Crime and Justice reporter Shimon Prokopecz joins me now with more. Hey, Shimon, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
You know, breaking news tonight is about what happened. I understand you have some new news tonight on the shooter's background check. What can you tell us?
That's right. A lot of questions throughout the day about this weapon, the AR-15 style rifle that he used in the shooting. We're now learning from U.S. officials who've been briefed on this investigation that the shooter purchased the firearm. They now have information. The ATF has been tracing.
Notice here they're not actually mentioning which firearm he purchased, so I think we're left to assume... Oh, hang on. Let me go back.
We're now learning from U.S. officials who've been briefed on this investigation that the shooter purchased the firearm. They now have information. The ATF has been tracing this firearm, and what we're being told by U.S. officials is that he purchased this himself. He went into a gun store and was able to purchase this AR-15 on his own. We believe that it was done in the past.
Okay, bear with me, sorry.
Year, and key here is that he went into a gun store and was able to purchase this AR-15 on his own.
AR-15,
We believe
okay.
that it was done in the past year, and key here is that he passed the background check. Now, Don, what's interesting here is because he's 19, and so if he purchased this a year ago, let's say he was 18, that's perfectly legal. You can purchase this style of weapon at a firearms store at his age. What you can't purchase is a handgun, because you have to be 21 to purchase a handgun. So it's kind of an interesting piece of detail here that there is nothing essentially preventing him from purchasing this weapon.
Right, bear one thing in mind with news broadcasters. We're not here to hear their opinion, they're just reading it off an auto cue. They don't have time to schedule in their own little private chats there, time for them to think about it. They're on a very tight, strict time frame where they're not allowed to suddenly stop and pause for 2 minutes while they think about what the guy's saying. But listen to how this reporter responds.
You have to be 21 to purchase a handgun, but only 18 for an assault-style weapon.
Right, I'm going to say that little bit where he just pipped in with that clarification was probably on his auto cue. I reckon he's been told 100% to question what this guy says. And who is this guy, by the way? No idea. Who is this guy? No idea.
That's the federal law. Essentially, there was nothing preventing him, not his age, nothing in his background, from purchasing this.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Mate, no one cares about your opinion on this. You're just here to read the news and interview this guy. So why this person is coming through with their opinions on the gun laws in the USA, I have no idea, unless that is the entire point of this interview.
Do we know anything about search warrants? I'm
Yeah.
not hearing there's no information about that.
Yeah, so the local police there, along with the FBI and the ATF, all working together here. We know of at least 2 search warrants that are being executed. The police and the FBI and the ATF are in the process. One of them, we believe, is his home, and then there's another location. We're not sure what the other location is, but at this point, it's usually expected in these types of situations. They go to the homes, they grab the computers, whatever else, to look at, just sort of get a sense of what he was doing at home, his computers, go through his computers. So what you would normally see in these types of situations is going on right now, and this is going to be work that's going to go on through the night, and then tomorrow morning he's supposed to be in court. So police will certainly learn a lot about him through the night.
Okay, so he's supposed to be in court in the morning, and then talk to me more about some information on his social media posts again, Shimon.
Yeah, so these are some of his Instagram posts, and we heard the sheriff there all day in his press conference raise issues with the social media, his background, their background check of him, and what they were able to find was really disturbing items on his social media pages.
Bear one thing in mind. It would not be impossible for CNN to fabricate this entire Instagram account. I guess they do have dates going back to January the 4th. That looks like 2016. But anyone could be under that hat and scarf. I'm sure they could even Photoshop a date in if they wanted to.
The items about guns, different things he talked about, killing law enforcement. Really
Hiding his
concerning
face,
to
could
them,
be
and
anyone.
wondering, the police there wondering, why is it that when he expressed the words he used about killing, the pictures that he used of the weapons.
Right, we'll read his post. Well, at least we know now. At least we now know what it means when a sand jerker says Allahu Akbar. Laugh out loud, I know, right? I'm just reading news. Apparently that means God is great. Who knows? There's an Islamic phrase called God is greater, right? I see. They were suggesting that Cruz Nicholas didn't know what Allah Akbar meant before reading that.
Why is it that no one went to police to report this? He certainly...
Right. Let's read. I plan on getting this, but I need more information on it. So if someone could give me advice on how much I'm spending and background cheeks, please, to God, let me know. I plan on putting a scope on it for accuracy. That's a shotgun. You put a scope on a shotgun. This is Syed Ali. wonder who that is. You could put a red dot for hunting. Let's just clarify that. There's video online. Right. Maverick 88 slug. I don't believe this is the gun he got, but it was an AR-15.
Certainly right now was not on the radar of the police, but certainly when you look at the type of items he was posting, open for anyone to see on Instagram, it raises a lot of questions for police as to why no one reported him. And the sheriff sort of stressed this tonight. In his last press conference of the evening, he said, you know, this whole idea, if you see something, say something. And he kept talking about that because time and time again in these types of situations, we do hear this, where someone sees something, they just think, hey, you know what, I'm going to ignore it, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But in the end, it turns out to be a big deal. And, you know, if you listen to the sheriff tonight, it just seemed like he was concerned that there were some missed opportunities here in trying to prevent this because no one alerted the police about him.
Shimon, thank you very much. Getting more information, please come back and report it to us. I want to bring in outstanding contributor Wesley Lauer. He's a national reporter for the Washington Post. Chris Swecker is a former FBI assistant director of the Criminal Investigative Division. Chris, you just heard the news. It floors me. And listen, I don't know everything. I said I don't know everything about gun laws.
Just to make a point, this gentleman, it doesn't really matter what you know about gun laws. You're just there to read the news. They've chucked in a token Middle Eastern person.
I don't know everything about weapons, but what I do have is common sense. So you can get a handgun at 21 years old, right? But at 18, you can buy an assault-style weapon. You can't buy a handgun when you're 18. What is the sense? Can you please, I really want to know this, and I don't mean to be facetious about this. What is the logic behind that? How does that make sense?
I don't know the logic behind it, but actually in Florida, if you're 18, you can get either. So Florida has one of the most liberal gun laws in the country.
Right. This news is just totally pushing gun laws, which might make a lot of people think, well, that is obviously why they've obviously milked whatever happened in Florida at that school to push some sort of gun story. That's pretty clear. Or is that a red herring? Who knows? Just reading some comments. 13%er, hi. Greetings again. Always good to have you in watching these videos. It's a long time no see. This is my first video for a couple of months. I have been pretty inactive. My apologies, but sometimes difficult to make a YouTube video. So good to be back doing a live stream. So yeah, great. Hi, 13%er. Right, we'll go on to another curious video I saw. Let me see, I think it was this one.
Just a few weeks ago, the FBI was told all about Nicholas Cruz, from his gun ownership to his desire to kill people, to the potential of him conducting a school shooting.
Right, we looked through those Instagram posts and none of them really suggested anything other than someone who was into guns. I'm sure there's tons of people in America who post stuff about guns. You can't really arrest all of them, but now we're saying we found additional footage of this guy. Reminds me of Summit, actually. Don't know if anyone can think what that is. Dejaro Vision, just in the chat. Hi, thanks for joining us. And Old School Call, if I didn't say hello to you. Hi. Right, just like we had with oh, I forget the guy's name. The MEN Arena attacker. We had footage of him in the walking around outside his front door, and a neighbour decided randomly to film this guy outside his front door, acting a bit weird. Let's see it.
Perhaps if they'd looked, they would have discovered this footage taken by a former neighbour.
Is that really the same guy? Right, let's see the picture of the person. Him. Is this really the same person?
Weeks ago, the FBI was told all about
30%. Exactly my question too. Is that really
his
him?
gun ownership to his desire to kill people.
This looks like a guy in his early
to
20s,
the
I'd say.
potential of him conducting a school shooting.
This, I don't know. It's a bit weird. And how many people video their neighbours? Maybe if they go out waving guns around, you might do, but I don't know. Very staged.
Perhaps if they'd looked, they would have discovered this footage taken by a former neighbour and said to show Cruz practicing taking shots in his yard last year. The potential killer that Cruz wasn't investigated, and the mass murderer he became caused terrible sorrow in Florida. The president is on his way there tonight to meet with people whose lives, he says, have been totally shattered. 17 students and staff members.
Right, this is another thing that always gets me with these attacks. I always bring it up. But how, I mean, it's barely been, I'm not sure, it was last week sometime, wasn't it? Just over a week. And they've released the pictures and names of all these people. 17 people
Were killed at Stoneman Douglas High School. Among them, 14-year-old Alisa Al-Hadef, who was laid to rest today. Her mother has made a desperate plea.
Who would let reporters to their kid's funeral? Look at these people, they're cramming in there.
President Trump, you say, what can you do? You can stop the guns from getting into these children's hands.
The staff and students.
Right. I love, well, these are the sort of footage I'm always quite interested to see. Because it's where the game's usually given away.
Who survived the massacre did so by hiding in corners and cupboards. Cookery teacher Ashley Kerr had nearly 70 children in her classroom while the shooting went on in the corridor.
I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment, and I have in-laws that hunt and stuff like that, and to me, I don't understand the need for anybody to ever own or have a semi-automatic or automatic weapon with high magazines.
Outside school today.
Why in this interview does no one ever talk about, I'm really going to miss this person? They always come down to, I can't believe this person was allowed to own the gun. There's never a, oh my god, I'm so distraught at what I saw, I can't possibly talk right now. It's always, perhaps I'll give my opinion on the gun laws.
Today, she was reunited with two of her pupils, Hannah, who survived the attack, and her sister, Caitlin. Even in their trauma, they are not as convinced as their teacher of the need for gun control.
He obtained the weapon legally, but if he hadn't got it legally, he still would have ended up getting it illegally. Criminals will do things that they need to be criminals. Just because you put a ban on something is not going to stop people from getting it. They put a ban on alcohol a long time ago, and people were still drinking alcohol.
While the political debates thrown up by this tragedy are depressingly familiar, the question of why law enforcement didn't act on warnings it was given hangs over America's latest mass shooting.
Okay, in the chat, Breezy Trousers suggested we have a look at, where were we? Mr. Stoosh about Judge and Sheriff Israel. I did think the name Sheriff Israel was a bit predictable, really. There's always that kind of name. I see we've got Robin Max and Sweet Baby Kitten. Both thank you ever so much for joining us. Robin Max points out they never identify their sources. You're absolutely right, and that's probably because their source is always the people that they they will subscribe to Associated Press or the Reuters to give them news as a package, so they don't have to really. They've already purchased all the rights to this, probably in a yearly subscription, is my guess. Right, we've got another one. There was some. Right, we'll have a look at this.
evening, I'm Rick Garcia.
And I'm Pat Harvey. Conspiracy theorists are attacking the credibility of the...
This is the one about the son of the FBI agent who witnessed the attack. I think his mum witnessed the previous attack. Crazy coincidence.
Parkland school shooting survivors.
And in one case, they are using a months-old CBS 2 report to do it.
CBS News' Amy Johnson is here now to show us how a run-in with a Redondo Beach lifeguard is tied into all of this. Amy.
Well, Pat and Rick, it was last August that we interviewed David Hogg about that beach confrontation. Hogg is also a Parkland student who was there the day of the tragic shooting, and now some extreme right-wing websites are claiming he is not a Parkland student, but instead an actor with an agenda.
You haven't taken a single bill for mental health care or gun control and passed it.
Right. Is there, as there always is, there's something very weird about this guy's face. I don't know if you've ever seen apps on Facebook where you can do a live video and it will put a beard on your face, or it'll put a eye patch on you, or a pirate's outfit on you, and you can do a video and it kind of manipulates, live manipulation of the video. Well, I get the impression that there's a very sophisticated form going on with this guy. When he talks, you do see pixelation. I'm saying they're lit. Possibly in some of these interviews with him, they've overlaid something on his face to change his appearance slightly. And like I say, when he talks, there's always a bit of pixelation. Let me know what you think.
That's pathetic.
David Hogg is one of the many faces.
His face is almost digital, and he's holding it very still so as not to cause too many shakes. There's a bit of blurring around the ear. Again, the shape of his ears is just weird. They've added a little bit somehow. I don't know. And there's always a green screen behind them.
Voices speaking out about gun control in the wake of the Valentine's Day shooting at his Parkland school, Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. Dozens of Parkland students have gone to the Florida State House, as well as multiple media outlets, to let everyone know they want changes in gun control.
And making it even...
Right, here's a good example of what I was saying. Weird stuff going on with his face. I'm not sure about this one, but...
easier for these horrifying people to get guns.
But last summer, David...
Right, now this looks a bit more natural, the picture of him. Always got weird ears. Anyway.
Hogg also spoke out in a story that aired here on CBS 2 after a lifeguard got into a confrontation with a teenager who just happened to be Hogg's friend.
He'd say, I didn't know it was a crime to put your board on the trash can.
What? That made the news? You're joking. Someone putting their trash can... their surfboard on a trash can. They had an argument with a lifeguard and they put that on the news. You're joking? What a joke.
Television interview now has several right-wing websites and social media abuzz, questioning whether Hogg is really a student who endured the shooting or if he's an actor trying to take advantage of the tragedy. And some have bought the story. Florida State Representative Sean Harrison tweeted, I was just made aware that my aide made an insensitive and inappropriate allegation about Parkland students today. I have spoken to him and placed him on leave until we determine an appropriate course of action. I do not share his opinion, and he did so without my knowledge. Another tweet, this one from Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio, says, claiming some of the students on TV after Parkland are actors is the works of a disgusting group of idiots with no sense of decency.
This will be sitting down inside, and we're going to have to screw this down.
Just last month, Hogg reportedly shot this video at the school for a video production class with a Stoneman Douglas teacher. Today, he tweeted a Margaret Mead quote, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. This will not be easy, but we must persist if we want to save lives. Now, we have confirmed that David Hogg is, in fact, 17 years old and a student at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. He has a student TV station there.
Okay, so he's definitely a student, and he has he runs the student television? What's that? What, he's in control of the remote control, you mean? Or he actually makes productions on the student TV channel, meaning that even what should be amateur student television is probably propaganda, filling their heads with rubbish. And yeah.
An ace student at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. He has a student TV station there. Hogg's father is a retired FBI agent. So back to you.
I don't know. Struggling with that one. He has the student TV station there. Whatever. There is another video we have. I did come across one. Yeah, he confesses. Do you know that? Alright. Let's watch the video.
Tonight, the teenage gunman who has destroyed so many lives here.
Now, what is this place? Is this a waiting room in an airport or something?
Shuffled his way into the courtroom. He looked sullen as he faced the judge.
Oh, they've always got weird ears. That's one thing that always happens. That's a peculiar looking woman, or whatever it's supposed to be, as is this person. But anyway, irrelevant. Let's see what this guy confessed to 24 hours after shooting up the school, allegedly.
Sir, are you Nicholas Jacob Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you are charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder. I have something very important to tell you. You're charged with some very serious crimes.
His defense lawyer insists that Cruz has profound regrets.
He's sad, he's mournful, he's remorseful. He is fully aware of what is going on. And he's just a broken human being.
Wolf Springs Police wants to evacuate approximately 40 students from Building 8.
America is left to grapple with the consequences of another mass shooting in a school.
I have the gunshot victim. He's by the entrance to Westglade on the west side of the school.
The country again confronting images of frightened teenagers running for their lives.
Fire rescue. One injured person. He's shot.
And of police teams leading pupils to safety, while other units hunted for a heavily armed killer on the loose. Video from inside the high school captures the terror of pupils. A policeman carrying a survivor to safety amid this Valentine's Day massacre. Other pupils were hiding under desks and in cupboards. Some teachers defending students with their bodies and with their very lives.
Now that is another thing that always comes up. Teachers defending students, jumping in the way of the bullets. You always hear that. I'll just go into the chat a minute. 22-3 on the way maybe. That's 30% maybe in Liverpool. It is of course getting close to the 1-year anniversary of the Westminster Bridge attack. That is a popular date for them. I did wonder if something might happen on the 23rd of February, as that is 223. We know how much they like their numbers. I actually was going to do a video on the 22nd of February, thinking, oh god, we've reached a year already, and then I realised I was a month out. Yeah, by the way, thanks to everyone in the chat, and everyone that's joined us to watch this video. It is much appreciated. Woodrow Wobbles, the video is frozen. How? It might be because I paused it and just check. Right, Cider Eye, do we all think there'll be a hoax on 322? That'll be the 22nd of the 3rd, and that'll be in the UK. I'm sure something will happen on the 22nd of the 3rd. If not least just recycling all the stuff from a year ago. Perhaps they'll do a documentary. I did take a look at what happened to some of the victims, but there's very little about any of the people, and also it's interesting how the news report always mixes in with what happened in Borough Market. So I mean, you do a search for Westminster attack and you get answers coming back about the Borough Market attack. I believe the people that carried out the later Borough Market attack are yet to go on, yet to be charged or anything yet. I think they're still to go in front of the court, judge. Right, we'll just watch the rest of this video.
The shooting itself was filmed on a phone. Too distressing to...
The shooting itself was filmed on a phone. So while the gunman's in here, someone is filming someone on their phone. Is that normal behaviour for when people are shooting at you?
Amid this Valentine's Day massacre.
There was a film, coincidentally, called was it My Bloody Valentine? Was that a pop group, a band, or a film? I can't remember.
Pupils were hiding under desks and in cupboards. Some teachers defending students with their bodies and with their very lives.
Yeah, we always hear that.
The shooting itself.
Right, this is actually footage of the shooting, and as it's going on, and someone's making a phone call.
Was filmed on a phone.
Yeah, of course, that's exactly what you do when you're getting shot, isn't it?
Too distressing to show in full. The opening gunshots are shockingly loud. And this footage shows the moment a heavily armed SWAT team entered a classroom to reach terrified students.
Does anybody have bolt cutters I can get this kid out of the fence?
What? Does anybody have bolt cutters so I can get the kid out the fence? What kid's that? Someone scarpered for it and got caught on the fence? Very dramatic.
Police radio communications reveal the urgency and the...
Oh, the urgency, yeah. Where's the kid in the fence? I want to see.
...confusion that surrounded their entry into the school.
Gary, does he know where the shooter is? We don't know, but we're in the building, the 13th building, building 13.
One student followed a teacher's suggestion and used a textbook as a shield.
Right, a textbook as a shield. Apparently, was it AR-15? Quite a deadly weapon. And they used a textbook. Right, this is someone who was literally shot at, we're about to hear from now. Must be traumatised, must be devastated, must be probably among one of the worst experiences they've ever been through. Let's see how they are.
And she's like, grab a book. So I took a book. It was a tiny book, but I took a book and I held it up.
What a joke, man. She held a tiny book up in front of her.
And I believe maybe the book kind of deterred some of the bullets.
Well, which book was that? Okay. So this woman was shot at, was shot at with an AR-15, held a tiny little book up, and it saved her life. Or she believes it does, anyway.
So it didn't hit me so badly?
Oh, it didn't hit her so badly, so it definitely... That woman got shot then. That's what she's saying. Is that right?
With the bullets?
I've got to hear that again. So this woman was shot with an AR-15, held a book up, but just didn't get hit as bad.
And used a textbook as a shield.
And she's like, grab a book. So I took a book. It was a tiny book, but I took a book and I held it up. And I believe maybe the book kind of deterred some of the bullets. So it didn't hit me so badly.
So where did you get hit? Because you look absolutely fine.
Teachers here say they're tired of leaders expressing sympathy, but doing nothing.
I mean, here we are, and we're like the latest statistic on school violence.
Right, at least this one looks a little upset. I mean, was she involved?
And as a society, as Americans, we're failing our children, we're not keeping them safe, and Congress is failing us.
But despite all that, not looking very happy, she still went on and started talking about gun laws. I mean, some of you guys in the chat are talking about it. It is not something I'm particularly familiar with in America, although I've learnt that you can buy an AR-15 as an 18-year-old in some states, whilst you have to wait to get a handgun. You have to wait till you're 21 to get a handgun. Is that true? Goodness knows. Oh, I've got to get me plugged 1 minute.
The government is failing us and something has to be done.
Many of those killed were found inside the school, but the gunman had escaped. His identity was already known.
The description of the subject is going to be a white male, last seen wearing a burgundy shirt, possibly Nicholas Cruz.
They already knew the guy's name, that's pretty clever. This is before they've even been dispatched.
The description of the subject is going to be a white male, last seen wearing a...
Huh, hang on, sorry, I want to hear those exact words she says.
Escaped. His identity was already known.
His identity was already known, okay. That was impressive that they knew that.
The description of the subject is going to be...
The description of the subject is going to be, okay, not is, it's going to be.
A white male, last seen wearing a burgundy shirt, possibly...
Last seen wearing a burgundy shirt. Might have a little bit of blood on him, perhaps.
And this was the dramatic moment.
Right, this is an armed gunman being brought down by police. He has just killed people, so he's probably quite dangerous. And they let Mike Quaranta film film everything. What gives him special privileges for getting that close?
Into the arrest. A police officer running to get handcuffed.
They should have shut the area, surely. The whole road would have been closed off, wouldn't it? Would they really be letting a news reporter come and film everything?
On the suspect. One another kept a gun trained on the prone figure.
What a joke.
Cruz was a former student of the school with a history of disciplinary problems and with access to all the weaponry he needed.
Look at that, what? He's more or less posing for that picture. Now obviously this guy's got to go and face a jury. Does revealing all this information about him, showing him actually getting arrested, mean that he might not get a fair trial? I don't know. Strange looking person though. Again, doesn't look like a 17-year-old. It could be. That hair looks like a wig. Who knows? Looks a...
On his social media accounts, there were disturbing images of Cruz posing with weapons.
Expander pointed out orange hair and Sidearm Mocker in plain sight. Very good point about his orange hair. They do love the colour orange. Can't argue with that. Eamon Pudama, this is a contender for the most obvious hoax ever. Well, it is, definitely, but you've got to ask what is the real agenda behind it, because I'm not so sure. Maybe it is to do with gun laws. I wonder if there's always something else that they're just pushing. I mean, in a way, on some level, you could almost... I have the belief that all publicity is good publicity, and if you get these guns that become notorious for being deadly, it does actually make people want them. It's like when YouTube first started up. I remember I first heard about it, and I think a lot of people first heard about it because there was all these complaints about happy slapping videos. And after that, YouTube was born. Everyone knew about YouTube. It became slightly notorious, and it worked a trade. And that seems to work for an awful lot of things. I wouldn't see why guns would be any different. So on the one hand, we think they're trying to take the guns away, but on the other hand, they're just trying to make them more appealing. I mean, perhaps, again, there's some people that the idea of going and shooting a school does appeal to them. Maybe not that they would ever do it, but to know that they had the power to is maybe a good selling point for guns. I think this is all kind of... News is just an advertisement for whatever those in charge want pushed. The one thing most are not picking up in these fake shootings, this is Sidearm, is that almost all of them are being committed by someone with parents who have a military background. Yeah, very good point. I wouldn't doubt. I don't know the background of this guy. And it's the sort of thing, it'd be interesting to look into him, see if there's actual birth certificates existing for him. see if he ever appears in court, because I believe there's was it not the gentleman who carried out the Burke Street car incident never has even appeared in front of a judge at the moment. Now this guy appeared in front of one 24 hours later, but it did look a bit like a airport waiting room. Eamon says, I agree, read the mental health aspect. The local sheriff, Scott Israel, has called for law changes to make it easier to drag people around the basis of their social media posts. It's a very good point. I'd also say a lot of these hoaxes are a very good way of pushing censorship. So we'll see. We'll take a look at Scott Israel in a minute.
A perfect storm of a young man with access to guns and harbouring a grudge beyond comprehension.
I'm not sure. Have we actually heard a reason why he went and shot the school up? Was it because he was expelled? Was it a girlfriend had ditched him and that's why he did it on Valentine's Day? Or have they ever told us, or is it conclusions we're meant to come to ourselves? Now, as some of you say, is this the most obvious hoax ever? It may well be, but there are people who would not for 1 second. I mean, I heard people debating about this gun stuff, and they're talking about it like it's all really happening. I bite my tongue in a lot of situations. I just point out maybe the people try and engage me in talking about the news. I'll tell them I think it's a load of rubbish. Breezy Tree says Israel got a 17-year-old pregnant. We'll have to take a look at the guy in a minute. This video's got about another couple of minutes.
Earlier today, the president, a fierce
Right, what's the bet? And he does a 666 hand sign.
defender of gun rights and the Second Amendment, made his first comments on the tragedy.
I want to speak now directly to America's children, especially those who feel lost, alone, confused, or even scared.
Oh, what a caring, compassionate man this is.
I want you to know that you are never alone.
And again, this push in fear is another reason to push the sale of guns.
And you never will be. We are committed to working with state and local leaders to help secure our schools and tackle the difficult issue of mental health.
Tonight we spoke to Kelsey Friend, heartbroken after watching a teacher gunned down in front of her.
I heard the gunshots over and over and over again.
Right, she saw her own teacher get shot in front of her, and they've not said, look, I'm not sure how you're going to want to ever talk about this thing. You might want counselling, you might need years of seeing a psychiatrist to get over this. No, I tell you what, just get on the news and talk about it now, no problem, love.
Down the hall, down below us, kids screaming. I heard a young man crying for his mother who was dying, and it was terrifying.
Her geography teacher, Scott Beagle, tried to lock the classroom door, but was a fraction too late.
Oh, idiot.
He fell in the middle of the doorway where he lied dead.
How did he manage that? To try and he got from locking the doorway and ended up inside the door, or well, in the doorway rather.
For probably more than an hour, and I was trying to use my favorite teacher.
What a message to the person from me.
My message, please do something. That's all I'm asking is please do something. I lost multiple friends today. I lost my favorite teacher. I lost.
No tears though. Today, this is the same day it happened. But even, I mean, we saw her getting her mum hugging her, but she doesn't look overly upset. She can talk about all this, no problem.
Well, I cared about Lois.
Kelsey and her fellow students are left to ask a question that goes to the heart of this nation's political culture. Why on earth is America paralyzed, unable to even address this epidemic of gun violence?
Was that the same girl dramatically running into the arms of someone twice? Let's just watch that again.
Kelsey and her fellow students are left to ask a question that goes to the heart of this nation's political culture.
Oh right, it's the officer.
Why on earth is America paralysed, unable to even address?
Why are they just filming this one? Filming someone in a moment of, you know, what must be horror for them. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's film it and put it on the news. No problems with that, right?
This epidemic of gun violence. Robert Morley's a tale. Parkland in Florida.
Nah, he wouldn't do that, surely. Right, Scott Israel we'll have a quick look at. I'm not sure how my battery's doing. I think it might be on its way out. A huge thanks to everyone who has joined us. Right. Chocolate Tea. Go to Big Papa Truth's channel. Watch his video he uploaded 2 days ago on the 23rd. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Big Papa Truth. Oh, this is my Obi Loans channel. I just, weirdly, I was curious. I was pretty sure my all my community guideline strikes had expired and I should be free to live stream on this channel again. And I looked on it and yeah, I was free of strikes, but it said my ability to live stream had been revoked. It's weird. I thought, okay, perhaps after 2 strikes you're not allowed to live stream anymore. And then later that night I got an email telling me that one of my videos had been taken down. It was this one. It was Crisis Actors and Their Gun Impressions. I've put it up on 153news.net. I've left a link to my channel over there in the description of this video. If you want to watch it, go and get it there. Right, we were going to look for Big Papa Truth. I'm guessing it's not that one, or is it that one? Oh, hang on, probably should have gone to channels. Cyro points out they often interview these frauds with the sun directly in their face. Could be, who knows? Maybe that's just how they do it. Right, Big Papa Truth, nothing. I guess it could be that one. Oh, Big Papa Truth, that might be why. I can't read. Thank you, Woodrow Wobbles. Big Papa Truth. Setting uploaded on the 23rd. Gets rid of dangerous guns in his house, plus the town hall recap. Let's just see what one you were suggesting. Big Papa Truth. Well, this guy uploaded a couple of videos, still undefeated, 3 more. Big Papa gets yelled at for celebrating too loud. I reckon he means this one.
When the truck hit her. We have new information now also on the plane crash. KTVU has just learned the names of the 4 pilots who were on board the flight. They are...
I have come across this before, yeah. It turned out they blamed this mistake where an Asian flight went down. Now that is definitely mockery. Mudlark digging up the Thames. Too much crackling noise. Is that? Yeah, my audio is bad on this one. I do apologise. I hope you are all hearing it. Right, we were going to look for Scott Israel. Okay, he has got a little section on Google, pretty good. Don't think I got one of them. I'm always quite curious about how well they can change a person's appearance. Who is Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel? I don't know, but he's got a very appropriate name.
We would divulge information as it became available to us, and I felt that the information was something that the public needed to know. Understand, for the last 8 days, this agency, the Men and Women of our Detective Bureau, they've been dotting every I and...
This is Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel spoke during a press conference and revealed that the armed school resource officer never went into the building where the Parkland shooting occurred. The armed school resource officer, they mean the school has a officer with a gun that goes around in case of situations like this, I guess. I don't know, a bit of an oddball. I'll take a quick look at the chat. I've been doing this for nearly an hour actually, I think. I'm gonna sign off shortly. Yeah, like I say, that was probably the first time I've taken much of a look at the Florida school shooting. And as always, I mean, I've written myself a checklist for occasions like this, and you can always tick them off, how quickly the victims are named, the fact it gets around-the-clock news coverage, and as people pointed out, there's always members of families that are in the military or in the FBI. It's a weird one. I mean, I know my opinion on these. I'm sure it's similar to a lot of you. If there is anyone that catches this video who has, you know, who is yet to wake up to the complete lie that passes as the press. It seems worse in America, but actually it isn't. It's exactly the same here in the UK. You got from morning through noon and right through to the night, there's propaganda being pumped straight into the television, through the television, and also onto your mobile phone, onto your tablets, computer. It's pretty hard to avoid. I did try and avoid it for a month or so, and that's why I've not been up with any videos. But I will be back with some more soon. Let's see. X-Panda mentions Go Fraud Me. I can't believe there's been a... Well, it'd be worth taking a look, wouldn't it, I suppose? GoFundMe. GoFundMe. Florida. Orlando FL fundraising. Not quite. School shooting. GoFundMe for Florida victims reached 100,000 in the first half an hour. That was... I'm not sure that was the same story, was it? Yep. The official GoFundMe campaign created for the victims of South Florida's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting reached $100,000 in the first hour it was posted, and another $75,000 in the hour after that. Again, you can always guarantee GoFundMe, just giving, will always be attached to these. The same links every time. And also, I believe that Hogg kid, wasn't his mother also involved in a previous attack? Let's see. The campaign went live during a news conference in which Broward County authorities announced developments in the Valentine's Day shooting investigation that left 17 dead and millions of people across the country shocked, scared and angry. Police are searching for a motive. So, there is a motive. They said that they... oh, who knows. Right, the financial support for the victims poured in moments after Broward County School Superintendent Runcie announced that an official account had been created. So that was one of the first things they mentioned. They actually plugged this, probably on the news. Let's see.
There is a GoFundMe account that's been set up.
Oh, of course there
As
is.
we talked about yesterday, there have been a lot of fraudulent type of activity set up out there, so we work to establish something that's credible. It's a GoFundMe account.
Something that's credible.
Stoneman Douglas
Okay.
Fund, it's called.
You see that logo, ABC. A, absolutely. B, beyond. C, credibility. Absolutely bereft of credibility, ABC.
Again, that's GoFundMe, Stoneman Douglas Fund, which folks can make
Is that
contributions.
not a bit crass? Requesting donations. I mean, what will money do for these people? Okay, you've just seen people get shot, allegedly. We'll chuck you a couple of £1,000. You happy with that? Oh, you did 3 interviews for the news. Look, mate, here's 50 grand. Is that how it actually works? Oh, how many dead people have you seen today? Oh, I saw 25. Oh, well, you get $1 million then. What a joke. Just give money, mate. That'll make you feel better. And then when people donate, it also makes the whole thing more real for them, and they're less likely to accept they've been ripped off. That's if anyone does actually donate. More than 3,000 people donated in the first 2 hours, and many wrote public messages of condolence. Well, they're hardly likely to read them, the people affected. Prayers for Stoneman Douglas to my friends and family I lost. So, Tau Galid. Ugh. Okay, I'm not going there, man. It gets a bit irritating to keep reading this. Almost sort of, I can't fill my head with too much crap, or yeah. Well, you get to the point where you could never stop if you keep reading it for too long. So do I need to keep an eye on any funerals for this one? Well, I tell you what, well, we've had a funeral already, haven't we? Wasn't there a load of Jewish people getting all upset? And I don't know. But one thing you can guarantee, they'll televise them. They'll televise as many funerals as they can. Not one of those well, who knows. I do remember one attack where they dug mass graves for all the victims. It was laughable. I think that was in Turkey or somewhere like that, and someone went into a wedding and shot a load of people, and the following day they were burying all the victims in this big mass graveyard they had prepared. Very weird. Very hard to believe. Okay, well, look, I can see there's a few people, a good few people have been commenting and interacting in the chat, and I really do appreciate that. And I will be coming back with another live stream and more videos as soon as I can. Chocolate tea, thank you. Yeah, all I can say is, I'll just read it. The BBC forced us to pay them for their bullshit. That's 13%. We're talking about the TV licence, no doubt. You say the BBC are worth? Absolutely they are. They're on a par with Sky. They've both got news channels that run all day long. But again, ITV and Channel 4, talking about the TV stations here in the UK, are no better. I mean, look at Breakfast News, or Good Morning Britain, I believe it's called. Piers Morgan. I mean, who would listen to Piers Morgan, honestly? And he always comes out with some controversial view that means, hey, if you don't like Piers Morgan's view, why don't you ring up on our premium rate phone line and have your say, or give us all your information and download the app. It's a joke, man. I'm not sure whether any channel's worse than the other. I did see an interesting picture actually. I'm not sure if I could find it. Give us a minute, if you guys don't mind. Before I sign off, I'm just going to look for this photo. And it's of Manchester. It's the two media agents. See if I can find it. It's basically the picture I'm looking for. It was taken in Manchester, and it is the BBC offices. And you wouldn't believe who lives right next door to the BBC in Manchester offices. Their great rival, that independent television station, ITV. Basically, ITV and BBC have got offices right next to each other. I don't know, I found that hard to swallow. Very hard to swallow, but I can't find a picture at the minute, unfortunately. 30% asked, does anyone remember the English guy's name that was interviewed? I can check him out in England. I think that must be Toshford. When you get your chance, bro, stay at family. Mr. Tosh, sorry, yeah, go give me another let's see. Mr. Tosh, I was going to get onto a video, but then I got distracted by holy fuck, etc. So I will watch I do have time to put on Eamon talking about classic duping delight. His second name is Neeson. It's difficult keeping on top of the chat and the videos at the same time, but I massively appreciate everyone who has stuck with me. Sometimes my live streams are an absolute car crash. This one's gone alright so far, I think. I haven't heard the audio yet. It's 8 minutes on your own time, bro. Please. Breezy Trees. Thanks for your suggestion. I'll look them up. And I suggest the rest of you do. Right, I'll be back again. Yeah, for all you that are uploading videos, keep it up. Great to see. And I've always been a fan of PK Russian vids and how I see the world, and I was great to see they did a live stream together. I noticed that video got removed very quickly though, but it is up on 153 News. I hope you're all uploading your videos there and capturing videos there. At the moment there's no censorship going on that I can see, although they will delete videos for certain reasons. Alright, well okay, thanks Eamon, thanks 30%, Expander, Chocolate Tea, Cider Eye, Michelle Kovar, Drills and Shills, and everyone who's commented, Breezy Trees. I saw that name and thought it said Breezy Trousers, but yeah. Woodrow Wobbles, and everyone else who's commented, Mudlark Digging Up the Thames. Thanks for the tip on the audio, I hope it's not been too bad. Right, have a great Sunday everyone. I'll be back soon. Take it easy.